The clock is ticking for dozens of churches in Oklahoma to make a key decision. Will they leave their denomination over the internal fight about including gay members?
This divide has been growing for years in the United Methodist Church, and the split is now causing some to leave the denomination behind.
KOCO's Zach Rael investigates the issue from all sides.
As you drive past Crown Heights United Methodist Church in northwest Oklahoma City, you'll notice this sign that says all are welcome.
So I ask the Lord, let me live in your house.
For the pastor of Crown Heights, Reverend Trina Bose-North, she truly means all.
My church wants to be a place where LGBTQ feel welcomed and safe and equal.
Bose-North is a lifelong member of the United Methodist Church, or UMC, and says that she felt like the church was always welcoming.
The United Methodist Church has historically been a place for everyone. In the last few decades, the church has come down very harshly and strongly against LGBTQ.
And now the debate over homosexuality, specifically whether to allow same-sex marriage and openly gay clergy to be ordained, is splitting the United Methodist Church apart.
I think that the United Methodist Church is in a crisis.
Currently, the UMC does not allow its clergy to officiate or allow churches to host a same-sex wedding. And the UMC does not allow openly gay clergy. Reverends can be removed from their positions if they violate the UMC rules. In Oklahoma, some clergy have been charged for violation of the rules, but none have been removed. In 2019, the decades-long dispute between progressive and conservative churches came to a head when the United Methodist leaders gathered at a special general conference.
We are here to see God's way forward, to discover how we as a body of Christ can follow and serve Christ with all people, including LGBTQI.
We had a general conference that actually doubled down on the penalties against clergy, against bishops who ordained gay peoples.
It left Bose-North and her congregation disheartened.
We really believe deeply that God's love is for everyone and that there needs to be no second-class citizens within our church.
At the 2019 meeting, the General Conference also created an exit path intended for progressive churches like Crown Heights to leave the UMC if they could not agree with the stance on homosexuality. But the opposite has actually taken place, with conservative churches leaving instead.
Up until last November, I'd been a United Methodist as long as there had been a United Methodist church.
Reverend D.A. Bennett is the lead pastor at St. Andrew's Community Church in southwest Oklahoma City. Last year, St. Andrew's members voted to leave the United Methodist Church.
We have our covenant for what we do, but then there was disobedience and even outright defiance of that covenant. That was the most troubling thing for us.
They joined the Global Methodist Church, a recently formed so-called traditional denomination of Methodism.
In terms of the Global Methodist Church, it does affirm that the understanding is a biblical perspective of marriage is between a man and a woman.
Bennett says while that 2019 General Conference set out to create uniform standards for the United Methodist Church, it did not resolve any of the debate.
The primary issue for us was the lack of governability in the church. We believe that when you're part of a denomination that you are connected through an agreed upon covenant. This is what we believe and this is how we work.
St. Andrews is just one of 29 churches in Oklahoma that chose to leave the UMC last year, with even more considering to do the same this year.
I think it has mostly to do with their concern that because of how split we are, it appears that our church may be moving toward being more inclusive of people who are not heterosexual.
Reverend Trish Malloy is the director of transitional ministries for the Oklahoma Conference of the United Methodist Church. She's been tasked with helping churches disaffiliate from the UMC if they choose.
Those churches may not want to stay because they can see where they think we're going.
While it's her job to help in the process, she also remains hopeful that the church can stand together.
We have many traditional and conservative congregations in the United Methodist Church, and particularly in Oklahoma, and we need that diversity of our folk. We don't all need to be uniform. but we do need to be united.
Each of the 408 churches left in the United Methodist Church in Oklahoma have a decision to make, with a deadline of December 31st. Do they believe
Deeply that God's love is for everyone.
or
Homosexuality is incompatible with Christian teaching.
as churches make those decisions, they know it could impact membership?
We knew that we were going to lose members no matter what.
Yes, a few people did leave, but I'll tell you that that was 3.5 years ago, and we have gained way more because of our open and inclusive stance.
Both pastors say they're now focused on the future and working to be better.
There are many of us who just deeply believe that God's love needs to be shown, especially to LGBTQ who have been harmed by our church, but other churches as well.
We're continuing to ask ourselves, how is it that we're better able to love all people?
Zach Riel, KOCO 5 News.
And Zach is back here with us now. Zach, as churches make this decision, you touched on this, it really has the potential to impact a lot of people.
Yeah, especially here in Oklahoma. It's estimated that some 7% of Oklahomans are part of the United Methodist Church. That's about 280,000 people. It actually makes it Oklahoma's second largest faith group.
All right, so this deadline for churches to disaffiliate, that's coming up next year. So in the meantime, what's the next step here?
Well, that's right. Well, there's a regional meeting taking place. That's set for April. That's where the Oklahoma Conference expects a few dozen more churches to plan. They do plan to disaffiliate. And then in 2024, that's when the nationwide General Conference is taking place, where they will likely take up again the ban on same-sex marriage and openly gay clergy. But exactly what will happen at that 2024 meeting is up in the air.